Hey guys, a little early. Let's throw some little music in there before we get going. This is a cover by a slide guitarist by the name of Dan DeBook, which I probably got the name wrong there. It's a Rolling Stones, Painted Black. Hear that. I better pour myself a starter dram. It's a good song.
This was just part of an experiment.
Hang on.
Put some pictures up online, got some good feedback, and decided there was something in it.
Stupid ads. So who's already logged in there? Who's number one? Nobody wants to say hi. We're going to get going in about 5 minutes. So excited. It's been one heck of a week. Ready for some drams. Welcome to all those that are joining me. Don't be afraid to say hi, even though we're a little early. I like to start a little early. That gives people time to sort of join us. Pretty excited about tonight's whiskey mystery drams. A little intimidated actually because they're all going to be pretty spectacular Laphroaig drams, and I'm supposed to try and guess which one is which. I had a little nose when I poured them, and I think it's going to be tough, at least two of them. We're going to be tough. We'll get rolling in about 3 minutes or so. Thanks for joining. Like I said earlier, don't be afraid to say hello in the comments. Let me know you're there, who you are, and what you're drinking. So for the two of you that have logged in so far, I was supposed to do this tasting about a week ago, but I recently got called back to work. Well, I shouldn't say recently. I've been back to work for almost a month now, but it's been a huge adjustment for me to go from a month and a half of not working and having all the time in the world to pursue my interests and likes and hobbies and tackle things to going back to work full time, and not just full time, but like balls out full time. And so I took the week off from all whiskey stuff just to try and find some balance. So that's why this one's been delayed. My good friends John and Jody, my whiskey taste buds, gave me these samples quite a while ago, and just now I've been able to put this together and get ready for this. So I'm pretty excited. They're all Laphroaig whiskeys from the Isle of Islay. And for those of you who don't know Laphroaig whiskeys, they are notorious for being in your face peat. So when someone says a punch in the face with peat, or like tasting it like drinking an ashtray, they're usually talking about something along the lines of Laphroaig. So that's what we're going to go through today. We got 4 samples of Laphroaig. One of them is sort of a baseline, which is the Laphroaig 10. The Laphroaig 10 is like the sort of flagship whiskey for Laphroaig, and it is amazing. And then the other 3 are from a line of Laphroaig whiskeys called Carchis. And Carchis in Gaelic means friendship, friendship. So these are friendship drams. A lot of them have been sort of released around the Feshiel festival that happens around this time, or just sort of towards the end of May. What's going on, Leon? Thank you for saying hello. So 3 of these are Carchis whiskeys, and I have to try and decipher which one is which. All I know is one is a cask strength Laphroaig quarter cask, and I have an unopened bottle of the regular Laphroaig quarter cask sitting right here. And I might dive into that and do some comparison once I know which one is which. And one is a triple wood Laphroaig Carchis, and one is a Fino, so a wine finish Cartridge. So, yeah, super excited. Looking forward to trying them all and thrilled. What are you drinking tonight, Leon? I've actually had a couple glasses of wine already with some lasagna for dinner because it's been that kind of week. And now I'm sort of warming up to the whiskey with a Buna 12. One of my favorite go-tos when it comes to Isla whiskeys. So we're just going to give people a few more minutes to get in here. Feeling extra lucky tonight. Nice. You know, last week I bought myself a 15-pack of cheap beer, and it was great, but I don't know. I have to be in the right mood for beer, and I just wasn't in the mood for beer tonight. But cheers to you. Hopefully your whiskey stocks aren't dwindling too fast, my friend. Who else have we got on here? Is that Leon and Lydia, or one sec here, just set in a note. I'm sending a note to my mom because I know how much she loves whiskey, or Laphroaig. She loves whiskey, but she loves Laphroaig whiskey. Yes, my whiskey stocks are getting low as well. Yes, but hopefully I'll be remedying that soon. Sounds like I'm going down to Victoria next weekend. So I might be able to do some shopping for people if they need me to get anything for them. Just say it. Okay, done. Sorry. Here we go. I was kind of waiting for John and Jody to join us, but I don't even know if they know that we're on. It's going to be pretty hard to do this without them. Yes. Yes, my Springbank 15. I've decided the whiskeys that I haven't opened yet, I'm going to leave in the tube or in the box. So it's pretty obvious when you look at my shelf behind me here that most of them are open. But the Springbank 15, I'm gonna try and sort of hold out for that one because it's one of my favorite all-time whiskeys. So don't think I'll be opening that one. Well, I'll open it soon, I'm sure, because I'm weak, but not tonight. Tonight's all about Isla and Laphroaig. This month is all about Isla. I'm super excited. There's all kinds of stuff going on. Official tastings, live tastings, Bunnahabhain, you name it. Ardbeg's doing stuff. Super stoked. I'm looking forward to next Friday, a week from today, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check my calendar. Yep. Week from today, we're doing our Zoom Whiskey Club tasting. That's going to be fun. Yeah. Indeed I am. So let's get started. They had the John and Jody had the what's the word I'm looking for? The thoughtfulness, the caringness to pour me a starter dram. This is a Laphroaig 10. This is sort of what all other Laphroaigs are from what all other Laphroaigs are created. Your flagship, if you will. There it is there in my blue collar and scholar glass. Beautiful color for a 10-year-old peated Laphroaig whiskey. Sorry, one sec here. Looking for some love from John and Jody. But anyway, we'll start with the 10 because it's a good baseline. One of the first whiskeys I shouldn't say one of the first, but one of the first whiskeys that sort of caught my attention and sold me, converted me, if you will, into a Scotch fan, was a Laphroaig. And I would presume it would be a Laphroaig 10. I was down at a VIP function in Victoria at the Bay Street Armory for the Victoria Highland Games years and years and years ago. It probably would have been, it would have been like happened last week if it wasn't for COVID. The Victoria Highland Games would have had another VIP function there. They've done it for many, many years. And at the time, I don't know if it's still the case, but at the time, the Bay Street Armory had one of the best Scotch whiskey selections at the bar in the Chiefs and PO's mess. One of the best Scotch whiskey selections in Western Canada, if not all of Canada, but definitely Western Canada. And so I ended up sitting next to a fellow by the name of Nigel, who was sort of the whiskey aficionado for the club, or for the local population. And he found out that I was sort of new to whiskey but loved it, and I said to him, so of all the whiskeys on the bar here, I want you to pick one for me to try. And he got all excited and thought he was gonna kick me off the wagon, or kick me off the horse, if you will. Hey, Jody, welcome to see you guys. Happy to see you guys. And so he ordered me a dram of Laphroaig, and for most people, I can see how it would be like sink or swim. Either you fall in love with this, or you never drink whiskey again. And that's the kind of whiskey that Laphroaig is, and it's unapologetic, and that's why I love Laphroaig, because it is what it is. You can always pick out a Laphroaig in a blind tasting, no doubt about it. Hey, Kevin, welcome. Thanks for joining. I'm just telling everybody about my first experience with Laphroaig 10-year-old. So anyway, I tasted it, and I did not fall off the wagon, if you will, or get punched off the wagon. In fact, I fell in love with it. And there's so much about Laphroaig that is just so unique. And yeah, it's like an old friend now. I've been around it for so long that sometimes it's nice just to go back to it. So anyway, first dram of the evening is Laphroaig 10, care of John and Jody, my whiskey taste buds. Love the frog, absolutely. Oh, it's that beautiful blend of sweet and smoke, ashiness, burning, as Greg, the scholar and blue-collar scholar, would say, the burning hospital. It's exactly what it is. Lighter up. Yeah. Something about that Laphroaig, I don't know. It's one of those it's one of those whiskeys where you either love it or you hate it. And I most definitely love it. And it's so unique, and like especially when it comes to smoky peaty whiskeys, some of them, they're all unique in their own right, but sometimes it's hard to decipher which one is which when it comes to certain flavor profiles. Laphroaig is unmistakable, and that's what I like about it. So happy Friday, you guys. been one heck of a short week. It always seems like the short weeks from long weekends are always the longest. Indeed. Well, actually, to be fully honest, I started with 2 glasses of homemade wine with dinner, and then I had a boon of 12. So same island, but completely different. Hey, it's me, Ma. Welcome to Courtney from Lund. Happy Friday, definitely. Happy Friday to everybody. Friday sociable right here. It's been an interesting kind of stress at my work this week, or this month, I should say. They've called people back to work, but not everybody. So there's only 3 of us in the shop, and like we're hard workers. We're big producers, but they've kind of dangled a carrot and made us work even harder this week to try and reach our goals. And we're coming down to the crunch. Cutoff is like 2 days from now on our hours. So we'll see if we meet that goal or not. But it's been kind of a roller coaster weekend or week, depending on like what jobs you get will determine how many hours you can get as a mechanic. But all is well. Things are good. Hope everybody else is staying healthy and mentally happy. There's so much going on in the world right now in each individual person's lives. You can't even begin to put yourself in someone else's shoes right now, because every person's situation is so different. It's incredible. Kevin, nice. Working on a single cask peated pork pipe from India. Nice. And what do you think of it? Anyway, Kevin's going to work on it. Yeah, there we are. A little sweet and a little peat. The cool thing about Amaroot, it's not Amaroot. I don't know much about Amaroot, actually. It's Paul. John Paul is the one I was thinking of in India. They bring over peat from Scotland, I think, because there's not a lot of peat that grows in India. There's no peat bogs. Yep. Paul John. Yep. But Amaroot, I'm not sure where they get their peat from and what their story is. Hello, Greg. Welcome. I'm not sure if you've joined us before or not, but happy Friday and welcome. So just to catch everybody up that's live right now, we're doing a mystery dram Friday night. And so good friends of mine have poured me 4 mystery drams. Well, 3 mystery drams, really, because one was a Laphroaig 10, which I've not finished but quite enjoyed. So Amaroot also gets their peat from Scotland. Very cool. Nice. Welcome from Calgary. Awesome. Getting a few Calgary friends now. That's pretty awesome. Paul John. I mean, I really appreciate, from what I've watched and learned about Paul John and some of the Indian whiskeys, I really appreciate what they're trying to do. And when you consider what they're trying to do in their country, in like a completely different part of the world, it's pretty impressive. And you got to give them credit for that. And they actually put out some pretty amazing whiskey. But I agree, it's not the same. It's just not the same. There's more Johnny Walker drunk in India than produced in Scotland. Yeah, there's an issue with counterfeit Johnny Walkers and other whiskeys as well that are produced in countries like India that are not necessarily what you're paying for. But then again, it's usually way cheaper too. So most people probably don't care. That's right. They have their malt peated there and then shipped over to India. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Like I said, when you consider where they are and what they're trying to do, and like just even the climate and maturation, trying to keep within that 3-year period where they can actually call it whiskey must be incredibly difficult. I've heard them like digging caves underground to try and change the climate so that they can mature their whiskey slower. Exactly, rapid aging with the heat and humidity for sure. Actually, India probably is at this point the world's largest whiskey producer, if you want to call it whiskey. Some of it may or may not be some people's idea of what whiskey is, but exactly, just not what we drink. Yep, they have the top 5 best-selling whiskeys in the world, which is pretty incredible. But when you look at the population compared to the motherland, as we all know it as Scotland, feather in the cap. That's all I can say. Anyway, as we go, so Laphroaig 10, amazing. Will always have a place on my shelf, for sure. And now I'm going to attempt to check out sample letter A. As I said, I've had a couple glasses of wine already too, so bear with me. The Malterland. I love that, Kevin. That's great. That's awesome. Ooh, Laphroaig 10 versus quarter cask. Well, I haven't had quarter cask in a glass in quite some time. And that's why I pulled this off my shelf, because I am quite curious. And the reason I say not in my glass is because I've had quite a bit of quarter cask in the whiskey fudge that my mom makes, and it's becoming quite famous. This Laphroaig quarter cask whiskey fudge that she makes. But I think once I get through these samples, I think I am going to try a little comparison between quarter cask and 10. But right off the top, before I even go there, I think there's a place at the table for both of them, and I think they're both amazing. So it's going to be just sort of splitting hairs, if you will. But there's something to be said about that quarter cask, and it's pretty interesting because, in my opinion, they've succeeded where a lot of whiskeys or a lot of distilleries don't do so well, and that's with smaller size casks. So it's pretty interesting to see how well they've done with their quarter cask whiskey. So anyway, sample A. Dun, dun, dun. Here we go. Guess I will do the comparison, mother. Yes, Mom. Yes. At the Victoria Whiskey Festival, your friend, I sat beside him at the 80 Laphroaig class, and he had the peated marmalade there, and I think it was Ardbeg peated marmalade actually, but maybe it was quarter cask. I can't remember. But we had talked about trading, and I think that's still up for grabs. Maybe a little tradesies, some fudge for quarter cask marmalade. Ardbeg Anno, nice. Yeah, can't go wrong with Ardbeg. Yep, absolutely, Jody. I'm going to do that. Seems to be an overwhelming. In fact, I follow a lot of like the friends of Laphroaig and stuff like that on Facebook, and it seems to be like an ongoing battle or dispute, if you will, as to what's better, the Laphroaig 10 or the quarter cask. So it would be fun to do that. In fact, maybe I should make a video of it instead of just live stuff. Mind you, this will be posted once I'm done, so people can watch it. Extra-peated whiskey he can use, yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? When it comes to using whiskey in recipes like marmalade or fudge, you really got to have something that stands out, something that just like makes it through the process, if you will. Because we have tried. My mom Wendy has tried other whiskeys in the fudge, and when all is said and done and it's finished, for the most part, it's just lost. It gets lost in the fudge. So you really got to have something like a quarter cask or something that really stands out for it to work. Now, having said that, I had some amazing fudge made by her, made with Shelter Point Smoke Point, and so hopefully we can revisit that when they release their second smoky whiskey, which I have under pretty good authority will be coming out fairly soon, like maybe the fall. I may have said too much already. Leon may have to kill me. Bowmore marmalade from in town. Where did you get that? All right, so sample A. Love that nose, but it's sweeter. It's Laphroaig, but sweeter. Oh, the is it a German deli or something like that? What's it called? Yeah, by the Butcher Block. Yeah. Cool. Oh my gosh. Oh, that is amazing. Sample A just kind of blew my socks off here. Actually, I'm not wearing any socks, but figure of speech. I couldn't even. I could be not wearing any underwear either, but you guys wouldn't know because you can't see below here. But ooh, okay. So this is sample B. Sample A was delicious and sweet, in my opinion. I'm gonna go through all three of the mystery drams and then kind of try and figure out which is which. Now, having said that, said that sample A is sweet, I'm now getting sample B, and it's like even sweeter. So to recap, one is a Carchis cask strength quarter cask. One is a Carchis Fino, which is a wine cask, and one is a triple wood Carchis. I believe they're all cask strength, if I'm not mistaken. No pants streaming. Absolutely. No, I'm wearing shorts. I am. Be way too much distraction otherwise. Mind you, I did do a hot tub whiskey review not long ago. Oh, Fino is sherry. Pardon me. You're right. Fino. Sherry, of course. Thank you, Kevin. So Greg, normally we do 4 mystery samples. But this time the first one was a Laphroaig 10 to sort of use as sort of like a base. So there's 3, and they're all Carchus. I just have to figure out which one is which. And yes, they're all cast strength. From what I've nosed and tasted so far, if you guys are Laphroaig fans and you don't have any Carchus whiskeys, I would grab them. They all like nose and taste amazing. I haven't tasted these ones yet, but I 100% agree. Well, I do now 100% agree with you, Kevin. I'm not a big fan of a lot of the BC premium spirit releases, but I'll be looking out for these Carchus ones for sure. Is that right? Okay, so it's really interesting how some whiskeys in Alberta are harder to find and more expensive than BC, because for the most part, it's the other way around. You guys have way more selection and choice, and it's usually, from what I found, about 40%, or pardon, not 40%, $40 cheaper in Alberta than it is in BC. But maybe this Laphroaig Carchus is one of those rarities, just like the Octomores. No, sorry, other way around. Octomores are definitely cheaper in Alberta. That is interesting. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, Alberta is definitely cheaper for now. Hopefully it doesn't change, because it's nice to have you guys as neighbors. Just a little update for anybody that's interested, especially those of you in Calgary or even willing to travel. It sounds at this point like the Banff Whiskey Experience in September is still a go. It's going to be very different than what they originally planned. But we've still been asked, the Blue Collar and Scholar have still been asked to be a part of it. And we're going to be hosting a master's class as long as nothing changes between now and then. And I'm really excited about it. It's going to be, you guys, if you haven't signed up already, you should. It's going to be pretty spectacular, and probably not like any other master's class you've ever been to. That's all I'm going to say at this point. But pretty excited about it. Having said that, I've completely forgotten about Sample B and what it tastes like. So I'm going to revisit. Seems like a lot of wood influence in Sample B. On the nose, it was sweeter, but a lot of the wood exposure, wood kind of spices and flavors come through in the palate a lot more on Sample B. Yeah, well, I think there's tickets still available. So, I mean, it's just a hop, skip, and a jump. And even if you don't go to the Banff Whiskey Experience, I will probably be passing through Calgary, and would be super happy to get together with you at any point if you want to chat. Okay. to sample C, and then I'm going to sort of recap. I've got a few friends in Calgary that are whiskey people, and I love visiting because they're great people and great whiskey. Any excuse I can get to go to Calgary, I will. Although it may be hard on my bank account. Oh. This one smells like a familiar friend. Also, thought I should show you guys. I don't know if it shows up too well on the camera or not, but this one is significantly lighter than the other two. All right. Well, I have my suspicions what number 3 is, and it's fantastic. And I might have to try and get myself a bottle of all of these. But I'm going to do something real quick here. It's maybe considered a little bit of cheating, but there's no prize, so I don't care. Good pop. All right. I just opened and poured myself a dram of quarter cask Laphroaig, because I wanted to see what the color looked like. If I had to guess, which I do because it's the name of the game, I would have to say that sample C is the quarter cask. Yeah. The cask strength Carchus quarter cask is just richer. It's like the same. It's almost identical, only it's just amplified. Yeah, there was a few people that were headed to Scotland this year. And that's why we're hoping if you guys can make it to Banff, we can bring a little Scotland to you. So I got that one right. So sample C is the quarter cask, and it is fantastic. And if I can get a bottle of this, Mom, you need to make some fudge with it. Yeah. Oh my God. I am so spoiled, you know. Every single whiskey I'm sampling tonight is just out of this world. And it's amazing. So now I have to figure out which one is a triple wood and which one is a Fino, which is a sherry. Thanks to Kevin for cluing me in. Yeah, well, hopefully Banff is open. Like I said, at this point, I've been in contact with the organizers, and they're sort of going forward with it. But anything could change. There's so many unknowns right now. It's definitely going to be reduced. There's not going to be as many people there. But like I said, we're working on making it a pretty spectacular occasion, if you will. All right. So now it's between A and B. Which one is pheno? Which one is 3-wood? Now, John and Jody, maybe you can help me out with this because I failed miserably. I did do my homework, but it was a while ago. So I've kind of forgotten. When they say 3-wood, they're obviously, I think they're talking about ex-bourbon, sherry, and is it 2 types of sherry, or is there virgin oak in there as well? Or is it wine? This could be tricky. Oh, maybe not. Whiskey Web is back. Hello, Whiskey Web. Quarter cask? So the 3-wood is ex-bourbon, sherry, and quarter cask? Is that right? Okay. Well, I think without even tasting, okay, I'm tasting. I agree, Greg. The pheno would bring in the darker fruit note, but it's tough at cast strength because everything is so strong. You have to in fact, this is all 3 of these drams are some that I would definitely add water to try and I'm going to have to say the sample A is the pheno and sample B is the triple wood. I am probably wrong. Oh, I got a text. Yeah, drum roll, definitely. Here we go. A is the pheno. B is the triple wood. I was right. And C was the quarter cask. Right on. So I haven't had too much wine. Anyway, having said that, they're all, like I said, worth trying. If you can get any of them, I don't know if some of them are not available anymore or not, but they're all fantastic. And actually, if I had to pick a favorite, I think the 3-wood is a little too much wood influence. I think it was it's a little cast forward, if you will. A pheno is nice, but I'm typically not a super sweet whiskey kind of guy. 10-year-old. Based on that, I'd have to say the cask strength quarter cask is probably my favorite of the three. Which is surprising. Well, not really, but it's pretty awesome. So that was the mystery dram session. Before I go into the head-to-head Laphroaig 10 versus quarter cask, I want to ask you guys what you guys are drinking. That was fun. Thank you guys. Thank you, John and Jody, for that. That was super awesome. All right. I love port finish whiskeys. Absolutely. I've never had a port finish whiskey that I didn't like. Kevin, thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoy your dinner, and look forward to chatting with you guys again. Thank you for joining us. Okay. Jody wants me to show you guys the picture of the bottles. I don't know if this is going to show up or not, but maybe not really. Yeah, it's not really coming through too. Yeah, it doesn't really come through too well. But I can send it out to anybody that wants. If they send me their email, I can send them the pictures of it. Ooh, Kilkerran, Greg, nice choice. Let's see, we have a fellow Petehead in our midst. Nice. So here's the marmalade with. Here's a marmalade with. Again, I'm probably not sure if you guys can see it or not, but it's Lochnagar whiskey from Royal Lochnagar Distillery. I'm not sure how that would be. All right. Here we go. Laphroaig 10. Versus Laphroaig quarter cask. Now, before we proceed, what are you guys looking for here? You're looking for like what my opinion is of which is better. Greg, I will have to get you some of that fudge. It is fantastic. All right, Jody, you guys are drinking Laphroaig 10. That's great. You guys want to know just what I like better? Okay. Laphroaig 10. Sweeter on the nose. Iodine, lots of salt, and sweet. My opinion. Funny enough is, I poured this a while ago, but I've had a lid on it. So the Laphroaig 10 doesn't have a lot of like peat and smoke on the nose. It's more sweet and salt. So Laphroaig 10 is bottled at 43% ABV, and quarter cask is bottled at 48% ABV. So yeah, that could definitely play a factor. I've always been, not always actually, in my whiskey journey, I've discovered or I've come to the conclusion that the closer you can get to like 50% ABV, it seems to be the sweet spot for me. having said that, I love cast strength stuff too. But you just got to give it more time. So I'm getting way more on the nose with a quarter cask. There's an earthiness. There's this salinity, but there's peat. There's earth. Yeah. Port Charlotte is mostly 50% ABV. Yeah, I think you're right. I just find that I love a lot of Port Charlottes, absolutely. But every once in a while, you get one that's really like way out there. Like it doesn't make any sense to me. Some of the Port Charlottes. Sometimes the nose doesn't really match the palate on a Port Charlotte. That'd be fun. Yeah, let's do a Port Charlotte one, or maybe just a Bruichladdich one. That'd be fun. Mind you, they're so different. A lot of the Bruichladdich. Palate cleanser. It's funny because I was gonna start with the 10 and nose it and then taste it, but I wanted to compare the 10 and the quarter cask on the nose before I went to tasting, and then I just kind of like after I nosed the quarter cask, I kind of just like went into autopilot and tasted it. So that in itself might say something right there. I don't know. But they're both so good. And very different. Like it's not splitting hairs. They're both so unique and so good. But I'm gonna have to go with quarter cask. It's just that it's that much more slosh gurgle. You can pick up all that sound. I wasn't sure what you guys could hear. Can you hear my stomach gurgling too? No. Yeah, no, quarter cask. The Laphroaig 10 it's like an old friend, but Laphroaig even more so. They're both so good. It's funny because I'm trying to give a whiskey review and I'm worried about offending somebody, but they're just whiskeys. So I don't know. No, I would say definitively I prefer quarter cask over 10-year-old Laphroaig. And I honestly think it's strictly based on the ABV. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. I would really like to know. I would like to know how they do their quarter casks. There's got to be some trick of the trade, something they are doing to make it so good. Because, like I said, there's so many other distilleries that have dabbled in or tried, and so many craft distilleries that are working with small casks, and they're so often overexposed to the oak, and I don't know if it's just the high peak content or just the flavor profile of Laphroaig. It just works with the quarter cask, and it's fantastic. Yeah, I gotta say that out of the two over Laphroaig 10 and quarter cask, I would choose quarter cask every time. No other body noises, please. I wonder what the age is of a quarter cask. Well, yeah, good question. It kind of would be cool to know that, wouldn't it? I'm guessing it's pretty young, and that's why there's no age. Definitely less than 10. Being a quarter cask, I would not be surprised if it was like a 3 to 5 year old, to be honest. That's my opinion, but that's something they'll probably never tell you. But you don't have a quarter cask? Oh, well, I'll have to send you a sample because I just opened one. Yeah, absolutely. I think quarter cask has definitely earned its place on the shelf for any whiskey collector. But it doesn't replace the 10. That's what's really cool about it. And that's what I love about Laphroaig. You kind of have to have them all because they're all like a classic Laphroaig, but so different. Every single one of them. That's why I like Shelter Point too. Leon. Because they're all so different. Where does the lore rank? Oh, you had to bring that one up, didn't you? I would have to go back to it. It's been a long time since I've had lore. I think there's some age there. And it kind of bothers me they didn't put an age on it because it is amazing. It is a great whiskey. Yeah, I don't know. I think they would have done better with lore if they had just put a friggin' age statement on it. But it is fantastic. It is a great whiskey, and I think it might be better. But like I said, it's been a long time since I've had it. What's the other one that is cheaper? There's another Laphroaig that's cheaper. Select, Laphroaig Select. That's something they should just like. I don't know. It's not very good. That's something they should just do away with. I think it's kind of embarrassing. Yeah, Select. Yeah, I don't know. It's not very good to me, in my opinion. I think they should just stick with 10 quarter cask lore, and then whatever other age or cartridge stuff, cast strength stuff. Yeah. I agree. Yeah. Brandy, name it deselect. Yeah, absolutely. Brandy got me a bottle of it a long time ago now. But she doesn't know much about whiskey, and she knows I like Laphroaig, and it's actually a little background. Laphroaig Quarter Cask is one of the whiskeys that sort of got me into the idea of pairing whiskey. A long time ago, I had a bottle of Laphroaig Quarter Cask that I think someone had actually purchased for me. I don't think I even purchased it myself. Up in the cabinet, and we had recently moved to Comox Valley, and it's a beautiful home, and it has all these beautiful blueberry bushes in the backyard. So we had the kids out there picking blueberries, and Brandy got into this like blueberry pie thing, and she made these beautiful homemade blueberry pies. Served it with French vanilla ice cream, and I can't even remember how it actually went down, but somehow I ended up having a dram of Laphroaig Quarter Cask with fresh baked blueberry pie and French vanilla ice cream, and I was just like, my mind was blown. I could not believe how well it paired and how delicious it was, and that's what sort of like set me off on this whole idea behind like, why can't whiskey be paired with with culinary as the way wine is. So that's my Laphroaig story. Yeah, Select is kind of the ugly duckling, isn't it? I don't even want to know what year it is or what they did, but we've got some people saying that lore isn't that good. Mind you, I know them, and I know that they're like diehard quarter cask fans. So we'll have to find you some cask strength Laphroaig for you to try, I think, Ma. Absolutely. So yeah, that's my take. I know, right? Yeah. It bothers me how expensive some whiskeys are. Mind you, Laphroaig has to be, like, as far as Islay whiskeys go, it's one of the more readily available for sure, and definitely one of the more affordable whiskeys around here in BC anyway. But yeah, double the price. Mind you, I've heard of some Islay whiskeys in Alberta being cheaper in Alberta than they are in Scotland too. So I'm not sure what goes on there. Laphroaig is owned by one of the largest spirit liquor companies in the world. They're owned by a company, Beam Suntory. So it's a Japanese company, Suntory, which bought Jim Beam. And so that might play a part in how readily available they are and pricing wise. But yes, Octomore is definitely cheaper there, about half the price as it is here. And so as a BC resident, you have to kind of play that game and do your research because who owns Bricklady? I think they are independently owned, if I'm not mistaken. Or no, is it? Shit. I'm Googling it right now. They're owned by, yeah, of course they are. They're owned by Remy Cointreau Limited. So, yeah, Remy Cointreau. Pizza guy. I love having Leon in all of my tasting events because he's like a wealth of knowledge. He's like a well I can just draw from. It never runs dry. We're best buddies. Besties. Whiskey taste buds. Yeah, that works. There's a lot of stuff that Bricklady is doing. I like Bricklady. I mean, a lot of people poo-poo it, but I went to their like master's class, and misspent youth. I went to the master's class at Victoria Whiskey Festival, and I was just blown away. It was super cool. They took all the like hoity-toity pretentiousness out of the whiskey industry, and just like we just had a blast. It was so fun, and I really like what they're doing and sort of the way they're approaching it. Kind of the black sheep, if you will, of Islay whiskey and Scotch in general. But they're unapologetic as well, and I think that can be said for a lot of island distilleries. You know, they are what they are, and they're not sorry for it whatsoever. And I think that's why I'm really drawn to Islay as well. Yes, Fishel. So we have a Blue Collar and Scholar Whiskey Club online. It's an online club. We send out samples every month, and at the last Friday of every month, we do a tasting. And this month is a Fishel Isla themed whiskey tasting. So we're gonna have 4 samples of some pretty spectacular whiskeys from Isla. And I'm really excited and I can't wait. Everybody, as of today, everybody has their samples. We're about a week out. And if you are not in on it and you want to be, just contact me personally. The next one will be at the end of June. I'm not sure if it's going to be the Friday or not yet, but it's going to be the end of June, and it's going to be a Speyside themed whiskey festival or a whiskey tasting. We'll call it a festival. Why not? It's going to be a Speyside whiskey festival, and it's going to be lots of fun. So Greg from Calgary, myself, Adam, I am the Blue Collar in Blue Collar and Scholar whiskey pairing or whiskey pair. Our website is bluecollarscholar.com. We have a YouTube channel that you're on right now, which is Whiskey Taste Buds. And we have the website, and we're on social media and stuff like that. And we do whiskey pairings. When COVID's over, we do in-person whiskey pairings on Vancouver Island here. But since COVID, we've been doing a lot of online stuff, and it's a lot of fun. And we will ship to Calgary as well. So if you're interested, you are more than welcome to join us. Unfortunately, it's a little too late to join us for this month, but I like to try and source out some pretty special whiskeys, and we have some other followers that are from Calgary as well. So it is doable for sure. Are you still enjoying your Ardbeg? Because it is enjoyable. What do you think of the Ard, Greg? I don't know how much whiskey you're into or not, but what do you think of the Anno compared to like the Ardbeg 10? Because, I mean, they're so different, but some of them are, I don't know. Ardbeg is just, again, like Laphroaig, it just stands out for me. More depth, okay. It was really cool. I went to the Victoria Whiskey Festival in January and had a chance to go to the Ardbeg Masters class, and then also meet with Whiskey Bry in his hotel room later that night. And he went through it again, but he did like a breakdown. He like broke down Ardbeg. I think it was Anno, and it was like Ardbeg. It was Ardbeg 10. No, it was amazing. He had like the cask sample of the PX finished whiskey. He had the cask sample of the bourbon, and the cask sample of the virgin oak, and it was incredible. Yeah, it was a breakdown of Anno. If you ever get a chance to go to an Ardbeg Masters class, especially one hosted by Whiskey Bry, I highly recommend it. He is a fantastic individual. He really knows his stuff, and it is amazing. Yeah, we do miss you, John and Jody. I realize you guys don't want to head out too soon, but it would be great to even do a social distancing get together at some point. Ugadel, oh yeah, that's another good one. Again, we were all like splitting hairs here. I love the Ugadel. I love the Ardbeg 10. I love the Anno. I love the Core of Reckon. That's actually probably my favorite because I like the spiciness that Core of Reckon brings. There's so many good Ardbegs. Ardbeg 19, if you get a chance to try it, I know it's hard to come by. Highly recommend it. It's just a more refined Ardbeg. It's so good. If you check out our website, I think there's even a review of a few of them. Yeah, I do like the Zoom tastings. It's nice to enjoy drams with people, and nobody has to worry about having a DD or drive. Sometimes it's nice to just see people face to face too. We'll see about that, Jody. Next tasting, the Zoom tasting next week. There's quite a few people, so I'm a little apprehensive. I'm not sure how it's going to work with that many people. I don't want to leave people out. I want to try to be inclusive and help everybody enjoy their experience. But I think it'll be an interesting sort of experiment to see where we should maybe cap it. But sorry, Greg from Lund, which is softer than quarter cask, but beautiful dram nonetheless? Are you talking about Laphroaig 10? Not until there's a cure. Yeah, no, I get that. There's a lot of the world is sort of on hold until there's a vaccine, and is actually looking kind of promising that might be January. So we'll see. Awesome, Greg. I love that you're new to the whiskey world and enjoying it. And like I said, definitely check out our website. But if you ever have any questions or want to just chat, don't hesitate to contact me. Singing Sounds, yeah, absolutely, so good. Yep, Corey Reckon's my favorite too. Whiskey Web. No, there's two Gregs. Sorry. So there's a Greg from Calgary, and there's a Greg from Lund, BC, on the Sunshine Coast. Sorry to confuse you guys. Greg Cran, I'll call him Greg C, or stepdad. Yeah, that's the confusion. I want to pronounce your last name, but I'm afraid I might screw it up. Unro? Okay. The first try at Unra? Okay. Okay. Well, I look forward to meeting you in person on Raw. Okay, cool. I look forward to meeting you in person someday. Thank you for joining us tonight. It's always fun to see new people in the group. Yeah, it's been fun. I'm probably going to wind it up pretty quick here, you guys. I kind of powered through those drams, but I got some stuff to do around here before Brandy gets home. So I'm probably going to sign off, but thank you all for joining me, and I will try and do this on a regular basis. I don't know if it's going to be every Friday. I'm still toying with what day would be best for everyone. But stay tuned for more whiskey reviews and more live stuff. Hide the evidence. I caught shit for doing the gin reviews in the last video. I reviewed the Shelter Point gin and the Isle of Harris gin on the last Balvenie whiskey review I did. And Brandy actually watched the video, which I didn't think she actually watched my videos, and got all, well, she didn't get seriously pissed off, but she was like, "Hey, that's my gin." So yeah, it was good to know that she actually watches the videos once in a while. But anyway, thanks again, you guys. Happy Friday. It has been great to see you all. I look forward to the Zoom call where I can see your faces too. And yeah, we'll be in touch. Okay? Take care. Cheers. Yep. Something like that.